So first,
absolutely.
and I was
Let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar.
Yes. And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast One Season Wonders Kid Nation edition, episode 12. We're one away from the finale. And you know what? The kids are still alive. So I would say
the kids are still alive. Is that a sentence you thought you were going to say when we started this show?
We've only seen a few injuries, like a few burns, and then that girl in the sling. So you never know. And we had kids literally charging bulls. So
and fighting each other. Like
death was on the horizon. Yeah. But before we get into the actual episode, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Patreon. All the links are in our description. And as I always forget to mention, if you want to watch the show, the link is in our description. Go watch.
Absolutely. It's
Sweet Baby Angel saved it all, and that's how we're watching it.
Thank God. If that ever goes down, somebody needs to DM us because actually I'll probably watch it once a year again. So
I should download these for my own personal collection.
I have downloaded them on my computer just in case, because I was very concerned that they would disappear with us watching this.
Well, now, guys, Meredith has them. Don't worry. She'll sell them to you for the small price of $10.99
That's so
an episode.
funny.
No, I'm just kidding.
Should I fire up my old iPad and like load them on there and ship it around to people?
You should. Like pass it.
A rental?
Yeah. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Kid Nation episodes. Do that.
Love it. Love it.
But also please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. That is my final warning with this. Meredith, let's get into the episode.
Okay, previously on Kid Nation, the town council decided it was time for Bonanza City to hit the books, and Taylor had other ideas, which came back to haunt her when the town council won, or the entire town won an arcade, and the town council did not let her have that reward.
Nope.
The arcade also had a spell cast on the entire kids because nobody wanted to work.
Nope.
Including Taylor, which she never wants to work. But Zach approached her with some respect and asked her to help with the dishes. And this resident pageant queen did do that. She did all the dishes and she won back access to the arcade.
It's all about respect. RESPCT. That's all we want here at this Kid Nation. And it seems like the hardest thing to find.
Well, one kid who does have a lot of respect is Hunter, and he won that gold star last week.
The cutest little boy. That sounds so weird, but he's just so cute.
He is. Somebody else who has a lot of respect is Sophia, and she got a big responsibility because there's finally a sheriff in this town.
Yeah.
And can she bring a little order to this town and the arcade before Bonanza City runs out of time?
Yeah, she's Law and Order, baby. Hell yeah.
I thought it's so funny. This is the first time they've like used time against the show. It's like, we're running out of time. We have 5 days left.
She could have had a whole like precinct at this point if we had just started from the beginning.
Honestly.
We could have done it. Whatever.
It is day 35 and Sophia's like putting some rope in the middle of town. And at first I was like, oh, she's starting her sheriff's office in the middle of town. No. She decided, because she is so goddamn bored, as Alicia said last episode, she is going to claim a plot of land in the middle of town, and nobody's allowed to step in it unless they pay her. But that immediately sets the kids off that now all they want to do is be inside this like roped off area.
Yeah, this is hilarious. She's right. She's basically playing a mind game. She's like, I'm going to block this out, and the minute I do, everyone will want to walk in this little square of land that I've taken from them.
Just because they can't have it now, they want it.
Yeah, Nathan is number one most pissed off. I'm going to walk through if I need to get somewhere, I'm going to walk through this anyway. And I'm like, but literally it's the same to just walk around it because it's so small.
Everybody freaks out as if she took an entire strip so they can't get from one side of town to the other. It's a tiny little square.
It's genius. As I said in the last episode, Sophia is bored. She's done. She's over it. She doesn't care anymore. She's doing whatever she wants. She's running rampant.
Yes. Well, the people who are not or are not pretending not to be bored are this town council, and they go to read the journal again. And the journal poses some questions to this town council and asks if they know what exists beyond Bonanza City and thinks that they should explore what is outside of the town limits.
No, because we haven't left. Because we're already in the middle of nowhere. What are we going to find?
That's
rattlesnakes?
We technically did leave once to go bury the trash, and actually a second time to go find that gold. The other town council found the gold in the mountains. We're fine.
We went to a miner. Yeah, we're good. We're bored enough. We're not going to go on a long walk and get lost in the desert.
Well,
also, I'm
that's
sure
not true
they were told.
Because that's exactly what they are going to do.
I'm sure until today they were told, please don't leave.
That's so true. That is absolutely so true.
Just like an idea. But what do I know?
Honestly. But the town council goes back to the town and lets them know that they're actually going to be, they're not just going for a walk. They're hiking out of town and they're not sure when they will be back, which is just so comical because for the first time I feel like are doing pretty decent with our like structure of this town, and they're trying to get it under control with Sophia being the sheriff. And now the town council is leaving with no order on like when they're going to be back. So they decide to put Sophia in charge, and Sophia gets to decide when the arcade opens. Also, when we have the showdown, she's going to pick the reward, which automatically tells me this is going to be a 3-day adventure for the town council. This
was so funny. She didn't ask for this.
No.
She didn't even get warned. And this town council with their big ass backpacks were like, okay, bye. And then Sophia stands up and she goes, hi, town. And I went,
they're pissed.
She does not. Yeah, why is everyone so mad though? Everyone's like, we didn't elect her. And I'm like, no, but you elected like Greg. So I feel like we're already.
I was about to say, you elected Greg and you go along with what he says, but you're pissed about Sophia? She does way better.
We're stepped up. We're good.
Like she actually has, but also along your theme of like this all means nothing. Sophia has no power. Who cares if she says something? Okay, so she picks the showdown reward. That's the only thing I'd be like slightly concerned over. But she's not erratic.
It's so low stakes.
Yes,
it's so low stakes. So funny though. But yeah, so go on your adventure. Down with town council. We got Sophia now. She's
Adios,
the dictator.
Town council.
Thank you so much.
Well, with the town council gone, Kelsey goes up to Sophia and asks for the arcade to be open, but we're not ready for it to be open. Sophia goes around and checks the jobs, which is genius. Like, let's actually fact check this. Let's not pull a, Jared and Mike from last week where they just ditched their job and went into the arcade.
Yeah, everyone's mad about this, but she does a good job. She's like, look, this is what I'm looking for. You got to clean the saloon and then I'll come back and check. And she does all of it and it's really good.
She does what we liked from Blaine a few weeks ago where it's like, hey, this is exactly what needs to be done. Get it done and then we can have some fun.
Yeah, love.
The town council's on their hike and they're talking about, how will Sophia do? And they go over this like hill and down at the bottom is this teepee with some Pueblo people. So they're going to go engage here. Yes.
Is this racist or is this fine?
I think it depends what production did because I think it's great for these kids and also America to learn about Native Americans, which in this show at the time, they're calling them Indians. However, we are going to be politically correct on this podcast.
Thank you. Yeah,
we call them Native Americans. Yeah,
we're not calling them that. Yeah.
That is just, I will say, a sign of the times. Not that it was okay, but that's the difference here. And so I think if production went about it the right way, and actually these do seem like they are Native Americans, so I think it's great to give them a platform.
Yeah.
I think it's
definitely
fine.
I'm all for the education. I just couldn't tell if it was like a part of me was literally like, it was like kind of campy where I was like, are they even Native American?
I was concerned when we see the teepees at first.
The teepees
I was
like, me. I went, oh no. That's why I asked. Is
they
this
did
racist?
seem like real Native Americans, and they, did what I believe is a traditional dance, and they sit down and talk with the town council. And the town council asks, like, what's your advice on kids when they don't listen?
This was so funny. It's not even like asking Native Americans about like their culture.
Correct.
Or like what. It's just like, hey, how would you handle a difficult child? I was like, what a waste of a question.
Correct. I was like, wait a minute. Whoa. And I start now actually right here as we're recording this, I'm realizing, why didn't we do this last week when we were on our educational bender and we could have again, not learned about a fictional town. We could have learned about the area we are living in.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my point last week too, or last time. But yeah, this, I was like, who cares? Just be a babysitter for the next 5 days.
That's the thing.
It was so funny though.
I mean, they give a sweet response about children being the future. And I love how they say that you have to be an example, which this town council really needed that statement. Stop being a dictator, start leading by example.
Down with town council.
Well, the town is actually doing really well without the town council, which I think is telling. Yep. And Sophia is happy with the stores are like in order and the dishes are cleaned and it's great. Like, yeah, everybody is doing well. And Sophia isn't getting any attitude from these kids because she isn't giving it. Like, people are happy. They did their jobs and now it's time to like play in the arcade.
Yes, she's lovely.
Yeah, and it's also quieter, she says. The town council curses a lot. I just feel like this is very glaring how wrong this current town council is.
For sure. Yeah,
Sophia's, reign in the town.
So Sophia, as one, can do more good than the four of those boys. Yeah.
And that is super obvious as she sits down with Taylor and talks. And Sophia recognizes that Taylor is working hard, which I feel like Taylor needs praise.
Yeah, but this is where I went. If we give Taylor the gold star, I'm walking out. I'm walking out of my apartment.
I agree. I don't think Taylor deserves the gold star, but I think you need to use the gold star constantly as an incentive to people. Like, oh, your name could be in the mix.
And you need to talk to her like a human, which is what Sophia did. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a huge thing we're like learning with this is a lot of the older kids just think they can talk down to the really young kids. And they should just do their job and it's an age thing when it's like, no, the whole point of this show is that we are all equals here.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, the arcade is open, so a lot of the kids go into it, but some kids don't care for it.
Not Jared and Alex.
Or Zach. We got Zach milking goats. He knows he's from Miami. He's never going to do this again.
Oh, that's right. Zach's milking goats. That was hilarious. I'd like to see my parents do this. Okay.
And then, as you mentioned, Jared and Alex, they go out exploring and they find a cow skeleton.
They find bones, which I question if these are real or not. But they find bones and then they're like, is this a femur?
Can we all agree, if they are real, these were staged?
Yeah, it's not, they didn't really find that there. It would have taken how long for that cow to decompose?
Right?
But I loved them being like, the anatomy is so similar to art.
My God.
They're so
two
funny.
Smart kids who know way too much about too many things getting excited.
Yeah, there's something about little Alex, though, that he is just love of my life. I love him so much.
Absolutely.
My heart explodes around him.
Well, it is now nighttime, and we go back to the town council and the Pueblo people. They share stories by the fire, and this is so campy. That was the perfect description of this because they talk about how it's so easy just to be mean or selfish, but it's way harder to walk the good path, but it's worth it.
It was so funny thinking about how there's gonna literally, we have to believe that they're sleeping in a teepee with a bunch of Native Americans they don't know. like what? I was cracking up. I was cracking up at this.
That's so true. They have to be sleeping in like a trailer, like with an adult, not like. There's no way they're just sleeping in a tent in a random spot in, what are they, in New Mexico or Arizona?
I think New Mexico. Yeah, like
in the middle of nowhere.
Picture this. the real Native American tribe is in the middle of New Mexico in their teepee. And
Just
they
3
invite,
teepees, by the way.
there are 3 teepees, and they invite 4 boys to sleep in it with them. Like, no, first of all, these Native Americans don't sleep in this teepee in 2007. And second of all, they probably were like, okay, we're going to go back to the hotel you put us up in now. And then the boys sleep somewhere else. It was so funny. Convince me better, because I didn't believe this for a wink. They're in their sleeping bags and they're like, I should walk the path of good evil because these Native Americans told me to in this teepee we're in. The
and
fire
as
is dying
if they're
out.
actually taking this information, like DK's like, we got to really dig deeper on the Gold Star and like really invest in our future with this. Shut up.
These Native Americans are going back to their suburban towns they probably live in. And they're gonna get McDonald's on the way. Like, do they also kill and cook their own animals tonight?
But here's the thing: even if they do like live on a reservation and like live,
they don't live in teepees.
They're not doing this right now. Like they are going to a hotel tonight. They're taking their paycheck to probably like invest in their like their tribe.
Lives,
but but like this is
their land. This was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well,
the next day.
The next day, yeah. It's day 36, and we immediately roll into the showdown, and the town council is still not back, which is crazy.
Without Greg and Blaine, who do you think is going to win?
Okay.
Not the blue or yellow team.
After seeing this showdown, they so plan this, and I always wonder how they like
so funny
do this so well, because how did they get 4 boys on the town council to then like give this challenge where we need the boys the most?
The 4 oldest boys.
Yeah. So we find out, or we kind of talk about the Homestead Act and like
Jared's the only one that knows what it is. And let me tell you,
knows a lot about it.
I didn't know at all. And I still probably, let me see. It's if you work and own the land for a certain amount of years, you own it.
It's that whenever people are moving west, they would give you a plot of land. I forget the exact size Jared like rattled off, but that you got that land, but you had to live and work on it for 5 years to cultivate the land. And I think if you wanted to move, you lost the land and they would give it to somebody new.
Oh, okay. So yeah, as we were migrating west.
Yes. Yeah. So it's how the West and Bonanza City were built, is what Mr. Bonanza talks about.
Well, whoever owns this land really let it decay into nothing.
Correct. Also, we're not on the plains. Like that is really where most of the homesteading was.
That was so fun. Yeah, we're not on the plains. The Great Plains, where Meredith and I live.
Do you remember learning about those like houses they would make out of the sod like layers?
This is more like the Gold Rush. This was the Oregon Trail. This show is a mix between Lord of the Flies and the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
It's insane. But so what they're gonna do is each district has a homestead built on one side, and they have to move it from one area to the next.
West. They have to move it west.
Correct. You're right. I'm so sorry. I was just from one side to the other.
This is the whole point of this, is to move west.
And this is the most physical competition they've probably partaken in. And so
besides
all those boys
the plumbing,
are missing.
Probably. But yeah. Yeah.
That one was just like logistics, I feel like.
This is crazy. They have to move a whole house and then a grumpy old alpaca, if you will.
I'm sorry. There were not alpacas in the great, like, migration west. There is absolutely no way.
Yeah, what the fuck? Listen, I'm not from the Great West, nor was I alive during the gold rush, but I'm just going to assume that alpacas didn't provide a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Purpose?
I mean, it's just like having like a sheep. You use the fur to like make things.
You're not going to eat the alpaca, which is why they mostly had cattle. But also, yeah, okay, I have one alpaca. Great. The wool isn't going to do much. And if we're on the move, I don't have time to sew that. Just logistically speaking, this is crazy. And I love how they only move like a block over, west. They're moving like.
Listen, for that yellow team, it was far enough that I was already very concerned.
This is hilarious.
Because the house is tall. I didn't understand. Big. Well, let's get into it. So it all breaks down. So the house breaks down, the roof comes off, and the 4 walls can be separated. And I was like, how was the yellow team getting this roof off when they all stand 4 feet tall?
Yeah, the house is at least 5 feet.
Yeah, but
They
they
can't
somehow
reach.
manage it. Red is like crushing it. They've got this. They've got some manpower behind them,
Killing it.
and they can lift this. Yellow is
Struggle.
horrible at this, and they also, once they get to their area, like throw it. And Mr. Bonanza's like, "Whoa, take it easy!"
They're
Like,
gonna break their house. Yeah,
yeah.
it's like they don't even care about moving their house like this.
Not at all. I would not. This would be the challenge I
Oh.
actually care the least about.
This is just like the settlers. They also need to pick up their house and move it to the
You're
side.
right. The 4 walls and the roof, we literally carried thousands of miles.
Thousands of miles on the backs of our alpacas.
Just the one alpaca.
You're right. The one alpaca, the whole thing. It was so funny. And like green team did fine because they have like older kids.
Yeah.
The other one, the blue team was a little iffy because they've never had to figure this out.
Well, they've got like Mallory
Craig.
and Alex too. They have some smaller kids. I think it was kind of hard to maneuver around the small kids.
Mallory was in the back of one of those walls walking, and her cheeks were all red. And then it cuts to her interview, and she's like, I don't know how 9-year-olds are supposed to do that.
Well, her and Alex, the smallest kids, are the ones walking backwards, and Alex like falls, and she's like, "I'm okay. So brave for a 9-year-old."
I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah, green team was. Here was the other thing though. Blue fucked up because they would only have 4 people carry the thing, which made sense because it was 4 corners of a wall. Mm-hmm. But red team had like 10 kids on that thing, and they were hauling ass.
That's the thing is like some. Maybe it's just size. You needed more kids on certain things, but green is able to carry like 2 walls at once, and like they have like 8 kids each moving 2 walls, and then yellow just really struggles with like lifting anything without Blaine. But even if Blaine was here, I don't think they would have been like amazing at this.
No, because Blaine's just gonna drag it backwards, like.
Maybe he could have like given them directions because it's not just a moving thing. They've got to completely rebuild the house. And so red and green start rebuilding their houses first. And green is just able to logistically speak with each other. I think that just goes to their like district, vibes.
Green's the best.
Yeah.
And they have Laurel, a post leader who's very respected within the green community.
True.
Who's probably like, let's do it. I mean, not that she won a challenge, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like they have somebody who like knows how to be the leader of this team. Yeah. So green finishes first. They crush it.
I root for them unequivocally every time.
I do too green. As well. Red is quickly behind them. They get second place, and yellow is absolutely falling apart. All their house pieces keep falling over. They cannot. Nobody is leading them. Yeah. That's the problem.
Zach doesn't know what to do. Yeah. Everything's falling behind. We don't have town council, but still we hate town council, but we just need them now.
We need just a leader to say something. Yeah. And we get that in blue. Migle shockingly steps up for blue and is barking orders on what to do.
Is Migle? Yeah.
She's the girl.
Yeah, she showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to forget the name Migle ever. But she showed out of nowhere. She's all of a sudden like, hey, what's up? It's me, Migle. Yeah, and I'm here to stay. But yeah, good for Migle.
Well, Zach does finally step up and helps Yellow finish building their house. And they're on the run to go grab their other stuff. Blue does finish, and they are cooks. Yellow then is the laborers, which is rough for those tiny kids. And we didn't discuss this at the top, but they had to finish in 60 minutes, and they do finish. Yeah. Of course, it like comes down to the wire again.
This time was so fucked up. So what's his nuts, Mr. Bonanza, is like, he's like, you guys only have like 5 minutes left. And Yellow is not even done building their house.
They're not even close.
By the time they get the house done, somehow they have 2 minutes left to run cross country to go get their chickens and alpacas.
You mean they're running east? They're running east.
You're right. Cross country east to go get these animals. And then as they come back to the west, they're walking.
I know.
And it's like 3, 2, and you see them
and immediately the flag goes in the ground.
You see them walking though at 3 seconds, and they still have some ground to make up. So I was like, I'm not too concerned.
It is really funny how always when Mr. Bonanza says 1, whatever that final thing they need to do somehow happens.
It gets done when it probably shouldn't. Yeah. But you know what? I'm excited because I love seeing the prizes, and I was so excited for Sophia to have to pick the reward.
True. I already forgot about that.
Pumped,
well, these reward options were slightly disappointing at the start as Mr. Bonanza pulls a tarp off a monument commemorating the time in Bonanza City.
I got goosebumps.
Wait, really? Were you all right, add this to our should we add this to our LA trip? We should stop in New Mexico.
I was like, oh my God, are we going to New Mexico to see the in the middle of nowhere, there's a Kid Nation plaque? That's hilarious.
That's the thing. Where the fuck is this plaque gonna sit?
Right on Bonanza. You know what? I'm gonna Airbnb and see if I can find Bonanza City on the map somewhere after this.
Okay, actually, I would happily go see Bonanza City.
What if this is a Western town you could stay at?
Okay.
There was a lady on Selling Sunset that owns a Western town.
That's not true. It came out that she doesn't own all of it. She just owns a plot.
Oh, whatever. You know what I mean? We could go visit this town, take a picture by this mural. I was like, that's kind of cool. Because even if nothing else happens out here, this plaque will stand.
I don't believe that. If land changes hands, that is not forever. We constantly hear that later on.
CBS owns
a plaque is forever. There is no way they own this land. They are renting this.
I was pro monument at this point.
Well, option 2 is hot air balloon ride over Bonanza City.
That's dope. That's so cool. Well, over Bonanza City, I'd be like, that's what exactly, Yeah. But a hot air balloon ride, fuck yeah,
I agree. So it's either a once in a lifetime opportunity or for something all time is what I think Sophia might say, or Mr. Bonanza. And I'm like, yeah, this is why I'm like, I don't know if that plaque's going to live forever.
I was like, I hope it's still standing.
Shut up. You're hoping for the plaque?
The way Laurel cried, I got goosebumps.
That's true. Laurel reads it. I almost wrote it all down, and then I was like, I hate this plaque so much. I'm not writing this down.
I didn't hate it at all. I loved it.
Okay.
10 out of 10.
Well, I also thought when you have that decision in your face, they've already made the plaque. It's not like they said hey, we will make a plaque if you pick this. What are they going to do with this giant rock? They're going to leave it there.
Nah, Mr. Bonanza broke it. We hit that rock
Sledgehammered
with a sledgehammer. Yeah. That rock was dead in the water.
Well, it is dead because Sophia gets up and has to make the decision, and she picks the hot air balloons, and everybody is freaking out.
We're going to make memories, and we're going to look over this ugly-ass town from a hot air balloon.
From above now. We've already started it for 35 days, day in and day out. Let's see the aerial view.
Thank God it wasn't Laurel, because she would have picked that plaque.
Oh my God.
Laura loves to make a responsible decision.
She does.
She's Boston strong. I love that. Also, speaking of, did you know Miglay's from Chicago?
Oh my God, Alicia.
That cracked me up.
I was like, why? I'm shocked we haven't gotten bonding about people's cities and states, because isn't DK from Chicago?
Yeah. They could hang out after this.
Yes.
They could date. They're the same age.
That also tells me every contestant is not from a different state, because we obviously have 2 from Illinois at this point.
Also, that's the other thing. Well,
because what states are we missing? I think I'm going to say Alaska and Hawaii is a pretty easy
because they always show, the state. They don't, and Miglay was the one that's like, oh, they don't have this in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And DK also said Chicago. But I'm going to go as far as to say, if I was on this TV show, which I do this now in New York, I'm not from Chicago. I'm not from the city, but I say I'm from Chicago because, I'm not going to sit there and name my suburban town. Yeah. So then I'm like, is Miglay from Chicago?
That's a good question.
No.
But if you're on a national TV show at 12, you're from Chicago.
She's probably, she's not going to be from LaGrange or whatever. Dumb.
No, 100%. We go back to the town and everyone gathers in the saloon, and it seems like people are starting to get sentimental. The days are ticking by, and everybody
cries a little.
Yeah, they're speaking on their experiences.
She immigrated here. I was like, Miglay's got a backstory, and let me tell you, I could not find her anywhere. I was like, where's Miglay?
Maybe some kids don't survive. We have an episode and a half left to go here.
Miglay, if you hear this, the holidays, anytime.
Let's meet up.
Let me know. Let's grab a drink.
I'll buy the drink. You deserve it after this experience.
No, literally. 2 rounds. One on each of us. Let's go.
Unless I find out you got a gold star, then maybe you might have to buy it.
Unless I found out you're like a shitty ass person, then probably not. But I'm interested.
No, I'd still meet you if you're shitty. Like I would happily meet up with Greg and be like, what the fuck was that?
Can't. I scoured the internet for Meekley, but I can't find her.
Bummer.
But that's okay.
Well, it is day 37, and Sophia rings the bell in town, which that would give me a high to be in charge and be ringing this bell. And she tells everyone it's time for the hot air balloon ride, and we see the balloons.
Let's go! It's time for our hot air balloon ride.
Right outside the town. And the kids all get in. And okay, I have a question for you, Alicia. Go. It seems like the hot air balloons just go up a little bit. This is not a true hot air balloon ride.
I've been in all of one hot air balloon ride in my life, and we went up to the fucking sky. I was scared. But there's a lot of we had to sign a lot of waivers, and they had to teach us what to do in case the hot air balloon ride went down.
Oh gosh!
So, which scared the shit out of me. As someone who doesn't love the idea of falling, that scared me. But so I think this was for legal reasons because they had to teach us how to, if it went down. So if this goes down, no kids are dying. But also, my dad always told me growing up that the safest way to do something dangerous is on TV because they're not going to let you die on TV.
True.
Which is why, like, The Amazing Race, when people would, like, jump off cliffs, my dad would be like, this is the safest time to do this because, like, they're extra safe. So this is the safest hot air balloon ride with kids. So they're only going to go up 12 feet.
Yeah, clearly those parents had to sign a waiver well in advance about all these like rewards, because even those like fun, dune buggies, I bet that those parents would have had to sign the reward like waiver.
They didn't have to for cooking, and there's kids out here getting burned. So
that's probably just under the generic participating in the show.
But
waiver.
This was cool. I mean, you didn't see much. I was trying to look for views.
Agreed.
They were like, "There's our town."
And something else they do see is they see the town council walking back into town. I'm so thrilled that the town council missed this. I wondered if they were going to have the guy come back in time to participate.
Fuck the town council. Down with town council, always and forever.
Like,
I was so happy. DK's like, I'm mad I wasn't up there. Yeah, bitch.
You don't deserve it.
I'm kidding. But mostly as long as Greg's not up there, I'm happy.
Very good point. Well, the balloons come down and the town council runs over to them and like hugs their whole district.
Greg literally says, we met an Indian tribe. And I went, oh, idiot.
Oh my God. Yeah, they kind of like share a little bit about their experience, but they all decide it's time to get back to work.
Yeah, I'm glad you had fun without us. And Sophia was law and order. But now we're fucking here, so
let's
go. Back to work, bitches.
Boss is back in town. Surprisingly, it's Blue's first time in the kitchen, which is really interesting.
Amazing. They've always seemed to skip third, go straight to last if they lose, I guess. But
yeah, and Alex says they have a lot to prove, which he's so cute in the kitchen.
Alex is so excited to fry up some dough and serve it with chocolate.
Yay!
No nutrients, baby. Alex is here for fun. Some people are saying Alex is a nerd. He doesn't really like fun. Nah, he's all about fun. He's giving you dough and chocolate.
Yeah. And
hell yeah.
Not only that, but Greg is also starting to notice Alex a little bit more. He says he's definitely one of the smartest kids in town. And I'm like...
Which Alex hates Greg. All season he's been like, Greg's the worst.
Alex is just like, hey, Greg, don't ask, don't tell. Just leave me alone. You know I'm not a bad kid. Just please leave me alone.
Leave me be. The worst I'm doing is stealing books to read under the covers at night.
Oh, that's so
literally.
Well, DK also notices somebody is really smart in his district, and that's Jared. Remember, we're trying to pick the Gold Star winner to really invest in our future.
Yeah, because kids are our future, according to the Native Americans in that teepee.
Correct. Now we care how smart people are this week.
And Jared's like, I want to make a teleportation device from using quantum fit, whatever he says. And DK's like, what? And Jared says it again, and he's like, this kid's smart.
DK's like, oh, and if you got the gold star, you could do that. And Jared's like, no, you idiot. I could go to college and then I could do those things.
I could go to college to learn of how to do that and then try to do it. Dummy. I can't just do it. I'm 10. Jared's like, this kid doesn't know how quantum physics works.
Idiot.
I haven't even taken a college course.
I've only just read a bunch of college books.
Yeah, I'm on my parents' dial-up internet looking up quantum physics. Jared's hilarious. Jared is so funny. And yeah, he is smart. But the thing is, at this point, he could make up words to DK and DK would be like, he's so smart.
He says it with such a passion, and I get confused that I believe every word he says. I'm like, absolutely,
Jared's our future.
Jared.
Yeah, Jared's our future, baby.
Man. Well, it's time for the town to share who they think should get the gold star. So they all line up, and the biggest names we typically get are Alex, Migle, and Jared. But then Zach steps up, and he gets a little tearful, and he says that this is like really important to him, and he nominates himself. And this is how you nominate yourself. You say like, this is really important to you, and you really care, and you've been working really hard.
I really want this. He even said, he's like, I set a goal for myself, and this is the goal I want to achieve. And so I need to nominate myself. He's basically like, there's a right way to advocate for yourself and a wrong way. And Zach he's doing it the correct way.
And Devad is wrong.
Yeah, Devad's like, I made snacks for everyone. But Zach he's been on town council. He really wants to make it better. He's worked with Taylor. He's like stepping up and actually doing shit, not just like stealing from the kitchen and then selling for a profit. He's
and like, this is the time to advocate for yourself. We have
it's the last 2 or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. There's 2 more chances. So like, if you don't speak up now saying you want it and you feel like you've worked hard, then it may pass you by.
And Zach gets a little emotional, and Greg makes a fart noise.
And laughs at him. This was so upsetting. To be honest, of all the things Greg has done, this actually made me one of the top 3 most mad.
He's the fucking worst. Even when Zach leaves, DK's like, dude, what the fuck? Stop laughing at him. Like, I'm over it.
But I wish they would say that in front of Zach. The town council never stands up to Greg.
I think we're just annoyed at this point. I, too, would probably, though, in front of someone, want to come off as like a authority united front kind of thing. And then behind closed doors, I'm like, you're the fucking worst. Yeah. Because if you want the town to respect you, you can't disrespect the people you're up with in front of them, you know?
I know, but the other 3 are so like, I guess Blaine Blaine doesn't care. Flip-flops 50-50.
He's high probably.
Well, Zach walks out and he's like really upset. He's like, marching around town, and he's like tired of being treated poorly. And
he's sobbing, dude. Yes. He's doing the crying where you can't breathe, so you're doing he's doing that thing. Oh my God.
And he lays down in his bed, and then he realizes, no, like I'm gonna go face this. Like, fuck Greg. And so he heads back, and he cuts
the line. Were you cracking up too? I wondered what like the blonde girl in front was like, just
no, I was waiting for, because we see like Zach go in. I was hoping somebody was standing there giving their like name. And he was going to be like,
to nominate.
No, I need to say something. Shut the fuck up,
Migle.
Like, this is what I envision, like breaking up a wedding, and like, what do they say whenever they're like, does anybody?
I object.
Yeah, this is how I feel like that would feel. I was ready for him to be like, no, my turn again.
I was cracking up thinking, because he really did cut the line. I was cracking up thinking he's just crying, stomping up there. And this girl in the front that's about to walk in is like, oh. And he's like, me first. And she's like, yeah, whatever, bro. Like.
Well, they probably saw him coming out crying. So to be honest, him coming back crying wouldn't be as jarring.
I don't know. The blonde girl might have missed it, though. She was probably in the back somewhere. By the time she got to the front, she was like, what the fuck?
He went all the way to his bunk and back. So they probably got through like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, there's a new kid in front. And she's like, the hell are you doing here? It wasn't funny in the sense that like Zach crying is not funny. No. But it was funny as in like me picturing like some kid crying walking past me and being like, don't go in. Like him marching through and me being like, whatever.
So Zach talks to them and he's like still upset, and Greg actually speaks up first, and he says that like they all respect him and they try to kind of comfort him, and
he loses it.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't even know how to describe it.
They give him a hug. It wasn't great.
No.
But like they de-escalated it, and I think they do respect Zach coming back and like saying something about it.
I respect him so much, because if you're upset, like let it out.
Yeah, he's such a cutie. And then he leaves, and I think who was it? DK was like, I told you you're a fucking dick, or whatever you said to Greg.
I'm happy. DK basically called Greg out for being so two-faced.
Yeah.
because he was the one making fun of him when Zach leaves. And then the minute Zach comes like back upset, he's like,
I
no,
love you,
of course we
dude.
respect you. Like, we
I
love
man.
you.
You're respected from me. No, shut
How
the fuck
about you
up.
actually, again, action, not words, Greg. Like, actually respect him. Stop laughing at him.
Yeah, and then they whatever.
Well, we don't see the rest of the submissions because we go straight to the town hall. And
so who did you think? Okay, because it was Alex, Migle, and Jared were the big ones.
Yeah.
And even Alex voted for Migle. So I was like, ooh, maybe he's like, that could show that he doesn't really want it. You know, he's like giving it to Migle.
I don't think so. I don't think most people vote for themselves.
I don't think he knows, you know,
that he's up for it.
Yeah. But then the town council might be like, Migle has really stepped up. Plus, this town council's older and...
I think the people who make the most dramatic improvements tend to sometimes get it, or who have been like slaving like Hunter get it.
But I guess this episode we were focusing on the future of our children.
It's all about the investment. Mallory
already won it, so we had to go the next youngest, which was Alex.
I think Migle gets pointed out because of the like she actually stepped up, which was a 180 thing, and I bet other names were mentioned, but Migle was in the story.
She also talked about multiple times how sad she is to leave. So people were probably like...
That's true. People are like, wow, she really cares about this.
Yeah, Migle loves this. Yeah.
Well, how is the town doing? Sophia says she wants to see people playing less games and actually like investing in each other. We only have a few more days left in this town.
Let's get to know each other. It's like 40 days and we haven't met each other, you know?
Yeah, which is like kind of concerning because I'm pretty sure, it's day 37.
What do you do all day then talk to each other? I would go up to everyone and be like, tell me 3 fun facts about yourself because I'm bored.
I'm sure you would get to know like certain people more than others, but I don't need to know everyone in depthly. Like I don't need to know Greg's favorite type of pasta.
I literally couldn't care less, but I'm so interested to know what Laurel's favorite type of pasta is.
Absolutely.
Or Sophia. Or anyone on the green team, really. / also Mallory and Alex. I'm obsessed.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure people have found themselves in conversations. But I think just in general, it's like
at the saloon, taking shots.
Absolutely. But I bet with the arcade, like communication has gone down and like we can see that shift. And so Sophia kind of calls for the arcade to be closed. And it's like, oh, that's terrifying. And so
Law and Order has just turned its ugly head.
It has. So the town council kind of chit-chats with each other and they decide they will be closing the arcade for good.
Forever.
Dun, dun,
God,
dun.
after we have 3 days of fun. And then they're like, no, we're going to get to know each other.
You can't tell me this wasn't produced. Producers were like, listen, we're going to give you an arcade for 3 days. Get after it.
There's no electricity. So the batteries ran out of all the things. And they were like, we got to take them back.
Yeah, they're like, hey, sorry, this extension code actually is not up to code. We have to shut down the power to the town.
We thought you guys were going to pick the responsible reward and pick the books. And we only rented these for 5 days. So...
They're being picked up tomorrow. Sorry.
Yeah, they got to go back. Sorry.
So yeah, the arcade is going down and they say that they're going to do a bonfire to really get to know each other tonight.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love a bonfire. It's Midwestern culture, if you will. I love a bonfire. A little stool sesh. Yeah.
It's unfortunate that Luke from Summer House was too old to probably participate in this show because he would have loved this.
He would have really made this fire something to remember.
He would have been doing bonfires day after day, and these kids actually would have known each other from day 4.
Just imagine if he had his guitar with him. Oh, game over on that kid. Yeah.
Well, we move on to the gold star, and it goes to Alex.
Wait, Greg's dumbass introduces it and goes, Alex is one of the smartest persons here.
I am not.
Thank God for that. Because our IQ would be way down if not for him, huh, Greg?
Seriously.
Now, our little Alex, and he's so happy. He's
oh my God, he's happy. Like, here's to the 9-year-olds who don't give up. And I'm like...
Mallory is fucking thrilled for Alex. She's like, yeah, that's my guy. And then Jonathan's like...
I'm telling you, hearing about what they're going to do with these gold stars is quite interesting.
Alex is like, or Jonathan says like, oh, what are you going to do with this gold star? And Alex says the gold star is actually a paradox because $20,000 like isn't a lot. Like it is a lot, but it also isn't a lot. And I cracked up and went, he's kind of right. Like $20,000. If you gave that to me, I'd be like so excited. It's gonna last me a year, maybe. Like it's not gonna take me far.
I was thinking about that, Alicia. Not only like I'm taking inflation out of it because that just is not the like thought process behind it, but to a 9-year-old, $20,000 is a lot, but Alex is beyond his years. So he is like thinking about it like us right now. I was like, wow, that would, be a dent in some stuff. That
I could pay rent for a year.
Yeah, like that's great, but that isn't everything. It's not like it really changes my life. Like it could change my circumstances a little bit, but like I still have to have a full-time job. I still have all this shit I have to do.
It's like when, if you win like $100,000, I'm like, well, you're not going to get like too far on that. But
it would just make me like I could sigh a little bit on like, like the burden of like financial.
You have a rainy day fund.
Yeah. And like maybe a really awesome trip, but like, that's it.
Yeah, this was hilarious. I was cracking up because it's the first time I went, because like $20,000, I'm sitting here, I'm like, wow, these kids are rich. And then Alex says that, and it made me think and be like, to put in perspective in today's culture or day and age, $20,000 could not even cover my New York rent for a year.
Yeah, which is like insane.
Absolutely hilarious that you said that. And I was like, no one has any idea what to do. Even Jonathan is like,
that's the thing. They're caught up in A, they don't know what a paradox is, and B, they're like, okay, to us, we are sitting here like 20,000 is a lot. And they're like, okay, Alex.
But Alex is happy because he might hang on to the gold star because gold prices are going up right now.
Which I love him so much because, hey, sweet baby angel, they're just handing you a check for $20,000. They're not like this is not a real gold. This is not a real gold star.
I know what happens.
They're not handing you a real gold star. They're giving you a check, and actually, like a third of that is going to taxes. Let's be fully honest.
You're getting taxed on it, which you're getting $10,000 to walk away with.
Yeah.
But also, little Alex hasn't gone through economics yet, which is so cute. But always get the money today. Don't
time value of money. Absolutely,
get
the money.
Yeah, just get it today. Yeah. But he's so cute, and his family was fucking adorable. Can we talk about them for a second?
Yeah, go for
it.
They
were so dressed up. His dad was in like a collared button-up shirt. His mom was like looking professional. I think she had a blazer. His brother had hair combed to the side, and they were so cute. And Alex was like, I got $20,000. It's in a 2-pound gold star because he weighed it in his mind, obviously. And then both his mom and dad are like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then he tells his brother, and his brother's like, oh my God, amazing. And they just look like the smartest little family in the whole wide world. And I hope that they are doing so good.
Sending good vibes out there too. The family of Alex. Well, we end the night.
Family of Alex, yeah.
We end the night with our bonfire that was promised by the town council.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody kind of talks about how they are excited to see their families, but they are going to miss this community so much. And I think it is starting to hit them like, we are leaving soon. We all live across the country. As we've talked about on this podcast, communication wasn't as easy in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And so like a lot of them are going to be separated and probably never speak again.
Yeah. And Anjay, oh my God, talk about melting my heart. He is crying and he goes, this is the only place I've ever really fit in. And I went, well, it's because he has Jared and Alex who are somehow nerdier than him.
Yeah, but also I'm like, you have Olivia roasting you alive every other day. Like, do you feel like you fit in with your blue team or do you have like your friends?
Now, Olivia and Anjay are besties over up in here. So
I need to know how that happened.
I bet Olivia was teasing him so badly because she kind of had a crush on Anjay. She flirts like us where she's like really mean.
Or just she needed somebody to pick on, and once you can see somebody gets annoyed, you just keep going in on them.
Or Greg turned out to be worse, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
That's true. Without Anjay on town council, I bet things died off a little bit.
Yeah. Or maybe Mallory was like, I don't hate Anjay. Can you just be nice? And Olivia's like,
you're kind of mean actually to him.
Yeah, whatever. They're besties now. Oh, but it was cute. And then Jared looks at a scorpion and I went, get away. Because he's like, the scorpion looks like it's going to attack. And I was like, get away from it.
I need to do a compilation of just Jaredisms.
Oh my God, Jared is so funny. Okay, let's learn about Mr. Bonanza, shall we?
Let's do it.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so his name's actually not Jonathan Bonanza. It's Jonathan Karsh, which I know you knew, but I didn't know.
I didn't know his last name, but I just knew it wasn't Bonanza.
Yeah. So he is an award-winning, multi-talented producer, director, and executive, best known for developing and executive producing. Do you want to guess?
Kid Nation.
Nope.
Oh.
The pilot for MTV's Catfish, the TV show. Yep, he developed Catfish,
wow.
which is the best shit. Catfish is great.
Yes.
Yeah, and he did that while working as the senior vice president of creative affairs for Relativity Television, which I think is his like production thing that he has going. But yeah, so in 2003, he won the Audience Award and Best Director Award at the Sundance Film Festival for something called My Flesh and Blood. I didn't look into it much. But then in 2007, he starred in his biggest hosting role for Kid Nation, which was on CBS, everyone. Yes. And he helped develop and produce this show, which I think we all like saw coming. But
terrifying that he helped develop it. And it was like, if you can like develop a show like Catfish, a great show in my opinion.
But Catfish was based off a movie.
That is true. That, you know what? Really good point. That was Neve all the way.
Yeah. Neve was the brains
behind the operation.
And then Jonathan must have shown up and been like, this happens a lot, I bet. This could be a TV show. Because Catfish came in what, 2009, 10?
Yeah.
We didn't know about catfishing. We were talking to everyone on the internet.
Oh my God. I was not talking to strangers, thank God. Except
Skyping
for on
Omegle.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
But I wasn't like long-term connecting with people on Facebook.
No, but I remember like, it'd be like, oh, I'm like my friend's cousin's friend added me on Facebook. So I'll just like text them.
I thankfully did not. My circle was pretty small, and there were some, I'll say, like fringe people that I'd met once or twice, which thank God I went through and removed those people.
Don't give me unlimited texting. I would text anyone. So anyway, now I don't text back. Please don't text me. Anyway, then in 2015, Jonathan founded his own production company, Shiny Objects Entertainment. It's a company that focuses on high-quality alternative programming across cable and digital platforms.
Let's bring back Kid Nation.
What's on this, you might ask? I don't know.
Yes, please tell me.
Oh, so I guess he was an SVP for a different company, Relativity Television. Okay, Shiny Objects. Let's go to their Instagram and just look. Oh, I guess I can't from my computer. But they have, let's see, featured work. Texas A&M Kingsville. Reliant. No, this looks crazy. I don't know. I'll go into it, but yeah, I don't know. He seems like he's a good guy. He's doing shit. This production company doesn't seem like it's doing much, honestly. But that's Jonathan, baby.
Hey, Mr. Bonanza.
Yeah, who would have thought? Too bad his name is not.
He should change it.
Banana. Or Bonanza.
Banana? That really would be out of the blue. At least be the founder and CEO of this town.
Why is that Shiny Objects Entertainment?
Yep.
Yeah, no, this I'm going to assume it went out of business after 2015, but
I should ask my cousin, because I've been curious about this for a while. It just seems like anybody can obviously make a production company and just basically get work through it. And then like sometimes multiple production companies will be connected to projects. So like, what's the point of starting your own production company outside of just being able to like be paid through it, you know, and be a contract worker?
Yeah, I guess I'm not like too familiar. You're probably closer. Because I think I didn't even know when we started this podcast that like production companies are the ones that like come up with the show and then it's like sold to a.
It's a bunch of different versions of like how shows can come to be, but a production company is always involved. They basically, it's kind of like I'm like trying to think of a good analogy, but they do all the work of making the show. But I think multiple different companies can be involved. There's like the version of the people who are actually hiring, you know, the videographers and the mic people or like the sound people and all of that and doing the casting. There can be like many different production companies involved in doing all of those different roles.
Interesting. Well, either way, he did own. You know what? If he can develop Catfish, because that was a really good show. It didn't seem though like he stayed on it for very long.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Bonanza Karsh, whatever. If you see this, if you hear this magically, and you're like, you know, Meredith and I, we would love to try our hand at producing something because we think we know what the people want. I personally think I'd be really good at casting because I always have shit to say on casting calls. And like whatever. I think some casting's bad.
I don't know.
Put me on Big Brother though. I could produce the hell out of that show.
Oh my God. Yeah, but that is such a
put me on the challenge.
time suck. I think I wouldn't enjoy a like go type of like Big Brother-esque summer house.
I imagine me in a room. No, I barely have to move.
Yeah, but the show is being produced 24/7. Like the surveillance type shows would just take a lot out of you. I would prefer like a Real Housewives. Let's set up some parties, stoke the fires, go on a fun little trip.
I'd love to try my hand at both. Because I think the big surveillance one, I would get to know them better. And I think I would like fall for them better and know what would really like drive them nuts. Like when I found out on Big Brother, they wake up the contestants to music every day that the production people just pick.
Yeah.
And like blast it. That would be a joy to me. To be like, it's Carly Rae Jepsen Day.
Oh God.
Or what was the annoying one? Rebecca Black plays again. Like, it'd be so funny to me. But what do I know? Anyway, that's Mr. Bonanza. I'm so excited on the next episode to tell you everything I have found out from all around. But until then, do all the things. We are one episode away from the finale, and it is so exciting.
Thanks for joining. Bye.